So I've been thinking a lot more about money lately. Not just the last weeks or months, but basically the last few years. And it's not in a get rich kind of way. It's more about just having some stability in life. And I think we all get there at some point. You kind of grow up, and as in my example, I'm sitting here in my own backyard. We own a house. We have 2 small kids. So, like, you have steady bills you need to pay. You actually are responsible for another human being or several. So, you kind of want to, you want to feel safe in a way. And as I work for myself as an entrepreneur, it can be a bit of a roller coaster. And so it's far from safe, let's just put it that way. I would say that a couple of years ago I was making a lot more money than I am now. And I don't know what changed really, but I think from hearing from some clients that I worked with several times, basically people were buying less, and therefore they could spend less on marketing budgets, and then people like me lost work. So yeah, it's many thoughts going around my mind, to be honest. Also, apart from the pressure of growing up and having a family and having a house, there's also, a lot of things changing in the world around you, such as rising costs. There's a lot of inflation going on, and prices are going up. Food, whatever, pretty much everything is getting more expensive. And especially working for myself, I also find it hard to raise my prices, especially if it's clients that I worked with previously, and then I'm working with them the next year, and if I'm increasing my price by 20% all of a sudden, I don't know, they might react. I should probably try it, but yeah, I know that companies are also going through a hard time, and if I am raising my prices, that might be a red flag, and they might go looking for someone else instead. So there's a lot of pressure like that, and then there's so many things that add up cost. You have all kinds of subscriptions these days, and there's many things really. So yeah, it's not easy. So just to share a little bit more about my own work, I work as a photographer, creative. I would say in many ways I would define it as being a content creator, because most of my paid work comes from working with different brands, can be like lifestyle or clothing brands, and I create content that they use for marketing purposes. And now lately also I've been getting more active on YouTube. I've always been on Instagram for years, and I've had hundreds of millions of views, but I kind of burnt out on several different accounts with different niches, because I've never been able to, monetize it, which is a shame, to be honest. I mean, of course, I have had some like partnerships with brands that I've gotten paid to post, but it's never been anything like huge, or any brand that I had like on a monthly basis for a longer period of time. So then it's always, you're kind of looking for the next thing always. So it can be a little bit tough. But now, starting with YouTube, even though I'm still small, just being able to get paid for ads is a pretty big thing. And then I have a few brands that I'm affiliate for, and again, it's quite early stages, but making like $100 a month from affiliates, it's a good start, and it's something, you know. So slowly but surely, I hope to maybe gain a little bit more stability, even though I know it's never gonna be there. But at the same time, I have thought quite often that I wish I could just have a regular 9 to 5. I probably could, but I live in a country where I don't speak the local language. So I'm Norwegian, living in Finland. And that kind of, yeah, it doesn't help. Let's just put it that way. And then also I don't have a degree. I've done several smaller like studies here and there, but nothing that I could put together. So I'm more, I guess you could say I'm more street smart than book smart, and I like to stay within some creative field at least. But the good thing about working for yourself is that you can always scale it. If you're employed, you're gonna get a monthly wage. Yes, maybe every 5 years you can get a raise by like, I don't know, 1%, 2%, and it's so minimal, you know, it's laughable, to be honest. But if you work for yourself, there's always ways you can scale it. Maybe within some niches you can't go any further, but then maybe you branch out to others and you can always come up with new ideas. I've also started thinking more about what I consume and trying to be mindful about it, and you know, buying quality instead of, well, quality over quantity, because basically, sure, if you buy cheaper you can buy more, but at the same time you're gonna have to buy more, because if you buy bad quality it's gonna wear out and you're gonna have to buy something new again. You could say that about clothing, but also about all kinds of items that really can break and will need to be replaced. And then, you know, there's also kind of like from a health standpoint that you want to buy something that's not gonna hurt you in any way. So what is really my goal? Well, I would say that, as I said in the beginning, just to have more stability. And I don't want to buy a new shiny fancy car or a bigger house and so on. I just want to have more stability so I can have more peace of mind, because I think about it a lot. Even though I'm not one to stress, it's always in the back of my mind. I still haven't been in a situation where I'm, you know, looking for the next month and not being able to pay my bills. I'm not that far gone, but it's not, you know, if I have a few bad months, it could very well happen. So you know, just to having, you know, a little bit more stability, a little bit bigger jobs coming on a more regular basis, and having a little bit saved up for those rainy days, or rather rainy months, that you kind of, as a creative, know always come. That would be great, and that is really what I aim for, because if I have a bit more peace of mind, I can be more present in like day-to-day situations with my kids, and not always having to, you know, think of new ideas always. My mind can be really busy and I'm thinking about new ways I mean, creative ideas, things that I actually enjoy, but of course, at the same time, I'm thinking, can I somehow make something from this? Because if I don't think that way, I know I can't put too much time into it. So that kind of limits it. So yeah, not wealth beyond anything imaginable, but basically just more stability. That's what I'm chasing, and that's the goal. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you if this resonated with you, if you could see yourself, are you in a similar situation? I love to chat, so do drop me a comment, and I appreciate you watching, and see you guys in the next one.